Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome along to the TraxionGG YouTube channel for another Traxion live stream. I'm back on iRacing today, and we are going to be tackling not quite the Bathurst 12-hour, but I'm going to be doing something along those lines, but I'll explain all of that. First of all, let me know where you're watching from, let me know if you're here, and I will obviously, as always, do my best throughout the stream to keep an eye on the chat and answer any questions you might have about anything. Although, of course, if we're racing around Bathurst in GT3s, which is what we're going to be doing today, it may be a little bit challenging at some points to read lots of comments, I'm not going to lie, until I get to the Conrod Straight, and then we're going to be okay. But yes, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along, and delighted to have you here. Yes, it is Bathurst 12-hour weekend on the sim, which means... Hang on a minute, I'm pressing the wrong buttons here. Which means you guys can do this race, or the 12-hour version of this race, this weekend, and that is a pretty extreme way of going about iRacing. It's a pretty crazy race. If you get to the end of a Bathurst 12-hour without any panel damage, you deserve many tonics tea cakes. But I am not around this weekend, sadly, to do the Bathurst 12-hour because I am going to Holland for a wedding, which is going to be great, but it does mean I'm not able to compete in the 12-hour event, which is a shame because I really wanted to compete in the 12-hour event. Yeah, I've realised I need to get the chat up here. Oh, there we go. Hey! Turja's here. Turja. You actually clarified that Tom was pronouncing your name spot on during a podcast recently, and I don't know if I am or not. Turja. Not sure. A friend of mine, Thierry. A friend of mine. My fiance's best friend is getting married, and to a friend of mine actually from Scotland. So it's quite funny. They met, and we were friends with both of them, and they kind of met together, and now they're getting married many years later. So happy days. That was a very, very short version. I'm not going to give you their whole story. That's not fair. But yeah, so this should be really good. Basically, with these special events that's on at the weekend, generally speaking, what will happen in iRacing, and it is the case this week, is that the shorter sprint events, the official kind of regular, let's call them iRacing events, will sort of replicate the special event, so you can kind of use them as practice. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. There are lots of GT3 racing events at Bathurst on iRacing officially today. The GT3 Fixed Series is at Bathurst, and also the sort of GT3 Regional Series, which is what I'm going to be taking part in first of all, I mean, literally in 10 minutes' time. They're all 20-minute races, so it's like little short burst sprint races, which means it's not going to be really boring if we have an issue, because there'll be another race. I'm hoping to get through 2 or 3 races today, and I am very underprepared, as always, which hopefully means I will progress throughout the day and get better. But yeah, look at this as a preview for your weekend. If you enjoy watching this, if Bathurst looks like something you want to try and tame, if you really enjoyed the 12-hour last weekend, which I did, it was incredible, the real-life 12-hour that is, at Bathurst. An incredible race, so much drama, so much excitement, battles for the win, all sorts of stuff, crazy strategies. Then hopefully this will inspire you to take part yourself if you're on iRacing and you fancy giving it a go. So that is the plan. Could I race from the wedding? I think I would struggle to get the rig. First of all, down the stairs, I'm on a 3rd floor flat with spiral staircase. I would struggle to get the rig down into the car for a start. Trying to get it through Eurotunnel, not convinced that that'll go down okay. And it's a bit of a time-consuming setup. So let's say probably not. Maybe I'll go visit SimLab or someone while I'm over in Holland and race from there. That might be cool. Good luck with your build. I'm actually going to get out on circuit, guys, because I need the practice here. And I think we've got 10 minutes till the session, of which 41 drivers are signed up for at the moment. So I'm going to get some laps in before it's too late. I did about 5 laps, I'd like to say, yesterday evening, amidst the chaos. So I know Bathurst anyway, right? But I'm not expecting to be good. Also, I didn't realise that this was also fixed setup, so I've not done a lap on the fixed setup yet. I was using a fantastic Go setup to try it. So basically, I need to get a feel for this car in 10 minutes. I've done iRacing GT3 races before on the channel. You've seen them in live streams, a couple of them. But it's not something I do too regularly, so it's not like I'm very familiar with this combination or anything like that. I actually had to buy Bathurst on iRacing for this event, which I was shocked by. I thought I'd raced around Bathurst many times on iRacing. Turns out I didn't own it, so only on other sims. But I have done plenty of ACC Bathurst GT3 races in my time, so the combo's fairly familiar. This specific combo in the sim and the setup and everything isn't, so let's just build our pace up, build our confidence, try and tame the mountain that I love so much. This track is just incredible, and we'll go from there. Treat the first race like a practice. I'm seeing some Nordschleife coughing, but I don't know the context. And as I say, when I'm going over this mountain section, I'm going to be taking big risks if I look at too much of the chat. But once we get onto the Conrod Straight, which we're coming on to now, let's take a look. Okay, you're discussing what's the best circuit in the world. I would put Bathurst straight into the top 5. I would be really hard pressed to come up with a definitive list of, like, an ordered ranking of the top 5, unless I spent 3 days thinking about it. Maybe that's a future Traction video. But I immediately could tell you that Bathurst would be in my top 5. It is magical, and I would absolutely love to get there one day. 12-hour maybe, but more for me, the 1000 is what I want to be there for, because I am a big supercars fan. I sort of I've always admired and appreciated V8 supercars kind of from a distance. So when I was younger, I would watch the odd race on Motors TV. I was kind of follow who was the champion and who was in contention back in the Marcus Ambrose Pertec days and all of that stuff, all the way through to Wing Cup. And it wasn't until like very recently, and like the start of last year, that I properly got into it to the level where I was watching all the races, not live because I was asleep for most of them, but I would watch them the next morning in full. I was watching highlights the years before that, and I'm so invested in supercars. No spoilers for the race that's already happened on Friday night in Australia, which has obviously already happened for anyone else around the world that's still in the morning or the afternoon. But yeah, huge supercars fan, so therefore, you know, massive Bathurst fan as well. And it is just the most ridiculous circuit in the world, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. This setup's actually feeling fairly stable so far. I just need to get more heat in the tyres and kind of feel where the limits are and get comfortable. But it's given me a platform, I think, to build on straight away. I've not crashed it yet, put it that way. I've not really been pushing at all. Got to find our limits over Skyline. .54 people have been in this practice server setting times, so I wonder where the pace is going to be. 201.4 is the fastest, and then a 203.4 is 5th, so it's like the top guys are absolutely rapid, and then there's a bit of a gap. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Top 5, but not the best. As I say, I'd have to sit down and really focus and concentrate on picking a list if I was to really give you a definitive top 5. 204.7 on the first lap. So we're up to 14th already. That's all right. That was a little kind of banker lap that wasn't very quick. Oh, the supercars are amazing to look at. Absolutely amazing. Nürburgring is awesome, Thierry. I think lots of people would put that right at the top. Spa is the other very popular one near the top as well. All of these are amazing. Just need to try and get the power on as early as possible up the hill. Just about flat through there. Oh, big wobble. Okay. We're 1.3 up on our lap, though, so what's that pace-wise? Optimal 203.6, so that's okay. I think we can go more. So this is, obviously I've had that accident there, but I found that the setup therefore has its limitations. I had a bit of a snap, didn't I? Can't even remember now, but I think it was like a little... I think I touched the curb too much. There's another slight touch on the wall. .203.4 on the optimal, so yeah, that's not bad. Into the mid to low 203s quite quickly. I think I'll need to get into the 202s to be competitive, probably, in whatever split I'm in. Based on what I've seen in this session, anyway. It's the fact that someone's done a mid 201. Oh, there's a 203 one. Okay. I mean, that's with a crash, so there's a 202 in there already. Ah, interesting. All the best people drive the Aston. Well, unfortunately, I'm bucking the trend. I am driving the Aston. Don't know if I should be second or third through turn 2. And here, maybe I try first. Tricky. First or second, I think it's okay. Maybe second to be safe. This is flat if you get the line right. Quite comfortably, actually, on this setup. Now, this is where I was getting it all wrong last time. Just a slight breath off the throttle, and we get that time back straight away. Like, so we've got 3/10 in us, or 2/10. I've understeered off there, but that's fine. So, I mean, get that corner right, and then we're into the high 202s already. So, hey, that's okay. We're not a million miles away, considering this is just a very quick warm-up. Porsche's moving around a lot. Oh dear. Just get my wall hits out early. Should be joining the race session in just a second. This Porsche's moving around quite a lot. It's not very iRacing-y to see the kind of level of movement. .70 people now signed up. Practice my pit lane entry, not that I'm probably going to need it. It's got this kind of chicane that slows you right down. Then where's the actual... Oh, there's the line. I don't think I've got a pit lane speed limiter assigned. No, I don't. Alright, let's just get that sorted. Anyway. So, let's see. Which sim has the best representation of Bathurst, though? Not the best sim, but the best version of the track, says Dave Adams. Ooh, great question, and I'm sure that will spawn some discussion. I always used to say, when ACC was in its pomp, ACC had the best, to me, the best versions of any tracks. So whenever a new track came to ACC, I was always like, this is such a good version of this track. So that's going to be up there, but obviously AC Evo has Bathurst as well, and AC Evo is going to be newer than ACC. Maybe, you know, so it's going to be at least as good, in theory. Right, I've got a pit lane button now. Can I think my race server session should start very soon, so it should tell me, though. So yeah, I think ACE or ACC's got to be up there. PMR has Bathurst. I don't know if it's the best version, but I've not driven it enough on PMR to talk about the version. There's other things that kind of grab my attention more than the circuit. I can tell you what sim doesn't have a good representation of Bathurst. Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport's version, I mean, that's being picky, obviously. I mean, it still has the circuit, which is cool, right? But it's such an old version of the circuit, and the topography is just wrong. There's certain corners that are just not quite right at all. So don't treat Forza Motorsports as the authentic one. But if you want authentic Bathurst, iRacing, I mean, I've only done a few laps. I've never been to Bathurst, or I've never been to driven Mount Panorama in real life, so I cannot tell you categorically how accurate it is. However, there we go. Click race on the replay screen to join. However, what I can tell you is that the iRacing version straight out of the box feels very familiar to me based on my laps on other games like ACC and ACE and other. I mean, over the years, I did a lot of racing at Bathurst on R Factor 2, and maybe the original R Factor actually. So that'll be, you know, decent mods back in the day on these old games. When I was getting into competitive kind of sim racing back in like 2015, 16, or even earlier maybe. So, yeah, lots and lots of laps around here, but I just think it's such a good challenge. Such a good challenge. ACC for Dave, yeah. So I'll be honest with you, Dave. I bought this circuit on iRacing last night. I didn't realize I didn't own it. I just assumed I owned it because I feel like I've driven Bathurst in all of these sims, but for whatever reason, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I don't actually own Bathurst. So I have driven Bathurst on iRacing in the past because I remember doing it. So I must have been on I must have been loaning someone else's account at the time, or around, I think it was maybe a colleague of mine. So yeah, first time on my account. You don't want to know. How about your tracks? I think Bathurst is, and most tracks are like, you know, $15 if you're in the States. £12 in the UK. Maybe it's difficult. I've got a discount on iRacing because I own a lot of content that I bought a long time ago when I was kind of getting into sim racing many years ago, when I was collecting all the content. So I own quite a lot, which means I get a discount. I think it's more expensive than that then, potentially. Maybe it's £14.99 British pounds. You can see quite quickly if you have a quick Google search of the cost of iRacing circuits. I don't want to give you the wrong info because, as I say, mine's different because of the discount, and also it's different currencies, right? But it's not cheap, sadly. Two laps of qualifying. So, well, I mean, talk about going in cold. I've done one out lap today, and I hit the wall like twice. Or one out lap, one hot lap. So we have 2 laps for qualifying. I think that's one... I'm guessing that's like 1 tyre warm-up lap and then 1 fast lap. And I don't think... Can we take out... I think we're fixed setup. I don't think we can take out fuel here at all. Anything? No. Can't touch the fuel, so we're going to have to go out in a... So it's basically a race setup. That makes it much easier. Just going out and race setup and setting a time and seeing what happens. I am the 8th highest I rating in this field, so I'm going to guess this is split maybe... You can find out, can't you? Is it split 2 maybe? There is a way. Isn't there a way of seeing what split you're in? I can't remember. I don't do enough iRacing, guys, with the new UI. Entries. Anyway, I'm like 8th out of 20, so so top half really is where my I rating would put me if I'm prepared. So we can see. Oh, you can adjust the brake bias. Do you have any recommendations for what way to go on the brake bias? I'll set a button for that. We can try it, and I'm happy to try things. If anyone's got any recommendations, usually you go a little bit rearward, don't you? If you're talking about a fixed setup, it's normally slightly on the safe side. Car setup adjustments. I've actually already got something assigned, but I can't remember what button I've got assigned, so let's just do it again. It was probably the same. Two laps, but we've got an out lap as well. So 1 lap on cold tires. Warm up the car a little bit. I can probably go backwards a little bit on the brake bias. I mean, you can actually adjust quite a few different things, because you can... I don't know how far away I've gone from the default now, so we're just going to have to do it. You can adjust traction control and ABS as well. I don't even know if I've assigned buttons for this, you know, or I thought I did, but I've been changing wheelbases and wheels so often recently. I don't think I've actually got buttons to do this right now. So maybe that's something for the next race. I do at least have brake pressure bias adjustment, so we'll just run 56.9 and see what happens. Maybe it's a risk. And then we're just going to have to leave everything else as it is, I'm afraid. Maybe you can't adjust it anyway, I don't know. I am prepared, yes. Always prepared. like, when it's just a reflection on I guess what we do at Traction, but also just like with the sim racing state at the moment. Like, when I was younger and when I was really focusing on kind of individual sims at any given moment, you know, I'd be either going through a phase of being an iRacer, or I'd go through a phase of being big on R Factor, League Racing, or ACC, or whatever the game was at the time that I was into. Because that's what I would be playing regularly. I had everything set up. I had my wheel, obviously, that I tried, and I knew where all the buttons were. I had all my assignments set up on day one, and that was it. And I kind of knew what I was doing with each of the games, and I got used to all the foibles. When I'm jumping around between Race Room and iRacing and R Factor 2 and LMU and AC Evo and back to iRacing and AC Rally and old games, like I just get so lost so quickly. I forget. And I change wheels, so then I have to reassign everything, and I forget what I've not done. So it's just, we've got so many options in sim racing now. Oof, the rear definitely felt a little bit lively there as I turned in. Maybe I was just a bit aggressive and the tires weren't quite up, but we'll go up one click. Yeah, button box is the way to go, because then you can just set your button box and go. But I have a kind of stream deck, but I use that for streaming buttons rather than driving buttons. I was going to try third through here instead of second, but I'm not sure which is best. As you can probably tell, I'm not taking this qualifying session too seriously at this moment. It's the first race of the day. I'm going to do more than one race. I just want to kind of relax myself into this, as we often do when we're underprepared, which is always. So, this first banker lap, I'm just going to get round and keep it out the walls, and then I'll focus a little more in on the second one and just, you know, make sure we try and set a good lap rather than just a solid, safe banker. Haven't quite decided how hard to push through Skyline yet and how late to brake, but we'll get there. I want to try and set a low 2:03 in this qualifying session on the next lap, I would say. Brake a little later into the last corner. Right, 2:04.3 on that one. Let's do a better one now. In full concentration. Oh, curb. Oh. Got away with it. Exactly the same mistake as I made in practice. Lost a bit of time. Basically, that curb is lethal. That's it. I can't touch that curb. No, missed apex. Ah. Oh. First half of the lap was good, second half's been scrappy. Gotta be committed into the chase. Not the best. 203.5. Where does it put us? Ooh, front row at the moment. Okay, so we are competitive. More competitive than I expected. Potentially. Marin goes on a 203.5 as well. We've got 203.6, 203.8, 203.9. I mean, I had 310s in me, but everyone can say that, right? I'll take it. I'll take it. Toka Race Driver 3. Welcome back, Pishbot. Toka Race Driver 3. V8 Supercars at Mount Panorama. Glory. The glory days of sim racing. Yeah, the AMS2 version's good as well. Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Yeah, we do plan on doing Project Motor Racing coverage, sort of. We've been waiting for a few more updates to roll in before we feel it's a good point, but I promise you we will be revisiting it at a certain point. So yes, do not worry. We will do coverage, and we just need to try it and see what's improved, and there's so many different areas that we need to look at. So yes, that will happen. I think we're on the front row, are we? Did we finish on the front row? Did anyone beat me? Yes, we're on the front row for Bathurst. All right, this is a cool start. Nothing we can do on setup. It's all fixed. I was quite comfortable with the brake bias. I need to be careful not to hit that curb too many times. I mean, I get away with it with a slight touch to the wall. No damage, probably. But yeah, and I don't know how the car's going to feel over 20 minutes. We can't take out any fuel, so everyone's in the same boat. No one's hopefully going to run out of fuel. This keeps it fair. It's just 20 minutes of pure racing at Bathurst. So it'll be the first time in iRacing I've done a race on Bathurst. Let's just get into the line, get comfortable, build some tyre temps, and see what happens. See what happens. Yeah, no worries. No worries. I would love to be able to like cover it every single time they do an update, but we're doing game reviews and guides, and we've got all sorts of content that hasn't been released yet that we've been working on. Big series, multiple videos, stuff like that, which is really cool. And you will see more, but it just means we unfortunately don't have time to cover everything all the time. And PMR was needing a lot of improvements in a lot of different areas, so we kind of took a decision to, let's cover the updates on as news, but in terms of video content, let's give it time to. I don't want to make another video too soon and say, oh, it's still poor in this, this, and this, but this is good. We want to be able to actually have seen enough changes to make us go right meaningfully. Where are we at now with it? So it will be coming, I promise. I think we've actually got a date in the diary already for when we're going to start work on that. So, we're going to grid up. Yeah, that's the thing. I would love PMR to show, I think, reach the potential that I felt it did have on the lead up, based on the little slices we were trying. Things were feeling pretty good, and there were still concerns, but I saw the potential of what it can be. In terms of a package and all the ideas of the career mode and everything, there's just fundamental things that needed a lot of work. So I'm excited, and I really hope that they can sort it all out. It doesn't need to be the number one in terms of driving physics, in terms of realism as well. It just needs to be a good overall package. Right. I'm stressed, I'm not going to lie. 20 minutes of Bathurst in the Aston Martin. We'll try a different car for the next one. Maybe we'll take a Beamer for the next race. It's actually a Beamer that's alongside me. Cold tires, of course. Guy in pole position is the #1 iRacing of the group. Okay, underway. I didn't even realize Marin was there, to be honest. I honestly didn't even know the Porsche was fully alongside me, so I maybe could have got a better start there. That's probably my bad. That's okay. As I say, settle into the first race of the day. We'll get our nails out, get our claws out a little later on, potentially. Wow, I was taking it real easy there. I looked at my... No! Let them all sort themselves out. Oh, what a nightmare. Nightmare. Totally my fault. Okay, it's a test. Let's see how the damage is, but it's a test session now. Yeah, so what happened there was I was taking it easy in the braking zone, trying to be safe. I looked in the mirror and someone was going for it down the inside. And I was like, oh, crikey, okay, so I'll leave room on that one. And then as I was busy kind of thinking about, staying out the way there and taking it easy, I basically forgot about the cold tyres on exit, and just, you could see how quickly it spun around on me there. Totally my fault, and I've ruined the race for quite a few people there, but obviously it's not as bad as when you just wipe someone out. Let's see how the car feels. I think it's slightly damaged. Not as badly damaged as that McLaren. But I do need to get it fixed. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. We'll get them in the next one. Thierry, you didn't need to wait long before you checked on me, did you? Well, we can find some lap time in the interim anyway. I need to get some fixes done in this car. It's only a 20-minute race. Yeah, I'm alright. No injuries. Right, let's get it fixed. What's their damage? 51 seconds. It's something I've done in the past where the first lap is sort of where if I go in cold and I've not done a race in a wee while, I'll find mistakes in the first lap. I'll be trying almost, I don't know if I'm trying too hard to stay kind of sensible, and in doing so I kind of do I don't know, lose a rhythm or drive differently. It's also the cold tire thing. I was in my head I'm usually pretty cautious at the start. Like, I'll tend to lose because I'm a little bit too safe on the first lap because I'm worried about stuff like that. And that's where the confidence comes in. If you're race ready and you can just, you know how the tires are going to heat up straight away, you know where you're going to be, you can get straight into it. And I have found that the only way you combat that is just by doing lots more racing. Like, if you do the same race multiple times, the second or third one, you're going to get a better start. You're going to be more in the zone. So, yeah. Repair's done. We'll just let the pack come through so we're not getting out the way over the mountain. And then I'll join behind Peter, Sergio, and we'll see how the pace is. And just use it as a little 10 minutes test session before we kind of get ready for the next one. Oh, someone else has done exactly what I did. Right, I'm still on cold tyres. Everyone else has got a lap of warmth. it's a glorified test session, but also because safety rating and everything are counting. That's why I've got. I think it's good to have the pressure on to try and just know that I can't really just make mistakes and return to the pits. Like, I've got to be a bit careful here. So I think that's good. It'll force me to just dial in and find some speed here. We'll get some lap time. What do we want? Session. Let's not do it through here. Session best lap. We'll go with that. So I'll give you my lap guide. Braking just before the 50 board for the first corner. Getting the power as early as you can. You don't want to run too wide because you will understeer. This lap guide will be, as I say, being tweaked as we go. This is just what I'm doing now anyway. So there's still plenty on the table, I think, to find. And then up to turn 2, I'm kind of braking just after the end of the runoff area. ABS obviously down to 3rd. Maybe 2nd on a fast lap, but we can do 3rd for now. Don't mind running over that curb. And you're sort of treating this as just a braking zone for the long left. You've got to be super careful on the brakes there to not get it all wrong and understeer into the wall. Keep it tight to the wall, and again, on a fast quality lap with warm tyres, you're just getting on power as early as you can. And you're flat through there as long as you get the line right, but do a little lift while the tyres aren't fully in. Same here, little lift. Now don't touch the curb, because that's where I've been going wrong. Again, turn in early enough at the top of the hill so that you can get your apex and not run wide. Sometimes it's just breathing off the throttle to get that confidence, and if you're on the pace in a high split and you're up to speed, you'll be flat there easily. Never quite know how tight to take this one and how narrow to keep it. That's where there was a massive crash last weekend at the Bathurst 12 hour with the red flag, and unfortunately a broken back. But Ralph Aron is out of hospital now, so that's good. With his fractured back. That shouldn't have happened, by the way. For anyone that saw that incident, you'll know what I'm talking about. We'll see if we can close the gap on P7, 8 and 9 up ahead, or 6, 7 and 8 maybe. Braking at the 100 board. Oh dear. Maybe the tyres aren't quite there yet for that. Oh yeah, it was shocking, wasn't it? It was like, the worst part about it was you could see it coming. Like, we all knew there was a car parked there, and it was that moment of like, okay, how long are they going to wait here until they bring out the yellow? I could understand them waiting for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, because that way at least the car has a chance to drive away if it's not damaged, because it looked like it just needed to start up again and drive away. But once it had been, 10 seconds, I was just thinking they need to red flag this, or, I was watching it just going, oh no. And the worst part is, like, when something like that happens, but everyone could see it coming watching the TV, that is just the worst thing in the world. And it's not like, oh yeah, but it was unavoidable. I just don't think it was. Easy to say in hindsight, of course. Tyres won't be in the best shape as well, because I did lock them up after that crash, of course. My favourite supercars driver, James Golding, had a big crash in the 12 hour as well, and it was weirdly, normally that would be a massive crash that a lot of people would be talking about, but it was kind of it was kind of small fry compared to the kangaroo incident, which for anyone who hasn't seen, I recommend you looking into that. We'll ignore that wall touch. And then of course the red flag incident as well. It was crazy. For anyone who didn't hear or see about the kangaroo incident, basically Christopher Meeson, his Ford Mustang, was about this point here when a kangaroo ran across the road in front of him in the dark, smashed straight into the kangaroo. Unfortunately, Skippy was no more. Skippy was turned to ash, and the impact was so big on the windscreen of the Ford, which was very strong, by the way. Actually, Chris Meese, the driver, ended up covered in, let's call it, kangaroo. Covered in kangaroo internals. We'll not get too graphic, but it was grim. It was very, very grim. Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. I definitely think third's the way to go through there. Got to trust the tyres through that corner because you don't really get a good feeling because it's so kind of off camber. You've got to just trust the car. It's going to do what you want it to. Slight wall tap for the Porsche in front. Let's just not interfere too hard with this. We've got another back marker in this group as well, so we'll try and get past them. But I don't want to send one on this Porsche too early or mess up their races because I'm completely out of the running. It's not fair, 20-minute race. Ooh, Porsche touches the wall. But I think we're going to be quick enough to get the Porsche. Thank you. I wouldn't say the car is feeling brand new. Maybe it's the tyres. Doesn't feel like it felt qualified quite. Should get a good view of this battle though. What's this? P6, 7, 8 up in front, and then one back marker in the middle. Ooh, McLaren touches the wall. Just getting a front row seat for whatever battle's about to occur. Oh, McLaren gets out of the way. Marin was the person who was qualified. Basically, it got past me at turn 1 and I spun behind. So obviously, Marin's made some sort of mistake at some point because I was behind when I made that error. So it wasn't like damage from that crash for me, put it that way. Don't really want to interfere too much, so do I back off and try and get some clean air potentially? 4 minutes to go. Yeah, maybe I do. I'm gonna do it because I don't want to put on unnecessary pressure because I'm really not in this race. How much time we got left here? We've got 4.5 minutes. 4.5 minutes left. I'm just gonna give myself some track space to try and get up to speed here. I am so determined to make sure the next race is better. And honestly, the one takeaway I've got, as much as I completely messed that up on lap 1, which is never what I want to see, as I am surprised and happy with qualifying on the front row for my split. So I think if we, depending on how the splits work again, if it's a similar sort of field, I can really try and fight for a podium or a win here, which is nice. So we'll see who's in the next split, but hang on. P12 is for position up 5 seconds ahead. Alright, well, that's something to chase. I didn't realise anyone was on the same lap as me, but Peter's obviously had damage as well, so let's see if we can close in that 5-second gap. Ooh. That's not going to help our next lap. That's good to know. A little bit of traction loss there. Surprised me, I put the power on really early out of the last corner, but I did not expect it to go that easily. Peter's struggling, only 2 seconds ahead now. Ooh, someone's lost their wing. Peter's going to let us go, thank you. So we got the position. Marin's lost the rear wing, so watch out for a spin up in front. Let's see what happens here, but I expect this Porsche to go around. There it goes. And Peter's got the position back. I mean, that was the most predictable incident I've ever seen. Some angry chat. More Porsches in the wall. I love that I obviously saw that spin coming, so backed right off and moved to the left. But Peter behind me with the damage just came in absolutely full send, flying past both of us. Probably didn't see it coming as easily. But we were quite lucky not to have like a monumental 3-car shunt there, to be honest. So my lap time thing's gone, but we should have 1 lap left, so come on. Let's see if we can set a decent lap time on the last lap. Full concentration. Not a good first corner, or not a good exit specifically. That's definitely a corner where I can improve. Just need to watch the curve essentially. Yeah, too wide through there. You need to be further inside earlier. I've learnt that for sure. We can be slightly more committed, I think, through here than we have been. Yeah, last lap, Thierry. Do not worry. Right, write that one off. All I can say. We're at the finish line. We finished 12th. It's irrelevant. We got to the finish. 4 instant points. Oh, my bad. We'll take a look at the replay, and then we'll get signed up for the next one. Should get some more practice in as well. I might try the BMW just to see how it compares. And if you have any questions for me or any chat, let me know, and I will do my best. Let's just watch me make an absolute out of myself. So, turn 1, Porsche down the inside. I know he's there. I'm leaving the room, getting on the power a bit late, on the curb, didn't want to spin. I'm like, alright, fine, I accept. P3. P3 is where it's at. Let's just turn the audio down a little. Oh no, it's not so bad. Right, at this point, we'll go chase. So basically, I don't spot this, but the McLaren down the inside, I've kind of gone early on the lifting coast, and sorry, it's the Corvette, absolutely goes, again, kind of on me to be fair, because I was essentially just lifting to give space to the car in front of me. So the Corvette was making an overtake. It was no issue for kind of sending it, because it wasn't trying to overtake at all. He was just, as you can see, I lifted on the brakes early, and the Corvette just finds itself in that space, and then manages to pull out of it. But because I see that in my mirror, I'm like, oh. So you kind of see me have a bit of a moment. You can probably see it in the steering, actually. Just where I see him, and I kind of open out a tiny bit. Maybe it's a bit earlier. I go, oh, there you go, just on the way in. Here's the problem. So I am now wider than the normal racing line. I'm thinking about the fact that I've almost turned in that Corvette and I've avoided an accident. So that's what's in my head right now. I'm going, oh, that was close. Rather than, okay, watch the cold tyres, watch the cold tyres. So then as I come out, and you can see I'm on the power fully, that's not what I should be. I'm off the racing line, I've got too much steering lock, and I'm on cold tyres. So I should, at this point, be more patient on the throttle. I think it might have been okay if I was on the line, because I wasn't carrying a huge amount of speed, but just straight away, that's already gone at this point. Lapse in concentration, simple as that. Rookie mistake from this person who's been sim racing for, oh, I don't know, 12, 13 years maybe. And that was it. And then it ruined the race for not just me, but for everyone else that gets involved. So let's see if we can get a good view of it. So the Corvette makes it through, Merc makes it through. Maybe it didn't ruin the race for that many. Ah, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought I ruined the race for lots of other people. Do you know what? I don't think I did. I think this Porsche, something goes on here. Yes, the Porsche makes contact with the Merc. And that's what ruins their race. And then, bam, crash. And I think it's maybe the aftermath of that. This chopper cam. The cameras are not good. Ah, yeah, there it is. So the crash really, honestly, from my perspective, it wasn't too bad. I didn't cause that much carnage. No, I didn't cause any carnage. All right. That makes me feel a little better. I just ruined it for myself. Let's call it, oh dear. Need to see what time the next race is on, but I will get that up for you in just a second. Next one is at, we're not going to do this series next, so I realized that this one is on 3 at 2:40. Actually, yeah, 2:45, so in 20 minutes time, so we will do this one. Let's maybe register, but I want to try the BMW, just to try something a bit different. Can I actually register? Can I pick the car afterwards? We'll do it now. I think there's then a race at 3:15 in GT3 fixed, so we're going to switch from this one to GT3 fixed so it'll be a shorter gap between this and the next race. I will check that though. Pretty sure. There's also the GT3 Sprint series, that's at 4. yeah, 3:15 is the next one for the GT3 fixed. So we'll do that after. All right, perfect. Let's try the BMW then. See how we get on. I want to win a race. I really want to win a race. So we're going to do our best. So as I say, Supercars round 1, because I'm in a kind of Australian motorsport mood at the moment, let's say. Happened, so it's at Eastern Creek, which is now Sydney Motorsport Park. I don't think that track's on iRacing, actually. But that race, they've got one race on Friday night in Australia, which means it's already happened. Then they've got another race on Saturday, it's a longer race and a longer race on Sunday. I do not want any spoilers if anyone else here watches Supercars. I'm not sure they do. Hello, Kangaroo. But my favourite driver, James Golding, had a massive crash at Bathurst in the 12-hour it was turn 9, basically where I keep hitting the curb. He left a team, Premier, who were a team that were kind of in the middle of the pack in the V8 Supercar Championship, or the Supercars Championship. They didn't have a great year last year. I think they finished towards the bottom, but he left and joined the team that finished on the bottom, Blanchard Racing Team. So he went from like a kind of middle-of-the-road struggling team to a team that was right at the bottom, but, you know, young and potential and all that. And qualifying for the first round at Eastern Creek, they, despite finishing last in the Constructors or the Teams Championship last year, stuck it on the front row, lockout of the front row, which is incredible. And James Golding was on pole position, so I'm saving the race for when I have the time to catch up with it. But I am very excited to watch that. So yes, that should be good. Cameron, when you messaged me when that 12-hour was going on, wondering what the heck had happened to Chris Meese. And there was a little bit of confusion because at that point we had no idea what had actually gone on. But yeah, Kangaroo very much happened. I honestly, I cannot imagine, based on the images of the helmet afterwards and what Christopher Meese has said in interviews, I honestly, even just thinking about what he went through, obviously it could have been so much worse. And I'm not saying, like, I'd rather go through what Christopher Meese went through than what Ralph Aaron went through with a broken back, right? I know, and you know all about back pain. I just think that for Christopher Meese, that must have been horrible. Like a horrible, horrible thing to go through. Absolutely gross. And surely he must still be feeling it now. Like, it must still be, I don't know. They'll live long in the memory, I'm sure. We're getting our tech spec. We're going to do 20 minutes, well, 15 minutes practice. We'll basically see how the BMW feels relative to the Aston, see if I can match my times. Same. Yeah, I'd definitely rather that. I'd rather have been Christopher Meese than the Kangaroo. That is totally fair. Yeah. The less said, the better, honestly. It must have, yeah, exactly. But I think the cockpit situation, I mean, he wasn't in the cockpit for long after it happened, so yes, that would have been horrible, but it's more just the not being able to get rid of it afterwards, I think. That's the bit that terrifies me. So what's our all-time best lap? Oh no, we haven't done one in this car, so it's new. But we were looking at like low 203s, high 202s in qualifying, weren't we? Just got to see how this BMW compares to the Aston once we get the heat in the tyres. I'm getting a latency warning, so I was seeing a few people kind of, let's say, bobbing around on iRacing, but I wonder if it was actually me. If I'm the problem, my internet, which is very, very strong, but can sometimes go a little bit funny. I've never really had that much in iRacing before, though. Ooh. Interesting. That warning wasn't there in the last race, though, so we'll just see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it. So imagine that. You're driving along in the dark right now, and all of a sudden you get a 100-kilo kangaroo coming through your windscreen. Or into your windscreen, at least. It was kind of... It must have... Well, some of it went through. BMW, by the way, on the outlap feels, honestly, just pretty similar. It's different to the Aston, but in terms of characteristics of describing it, it's quite similar. And that makes sense, because they are sort of... As GT3 cars go, they are vaguely similar in terms of their layout and everything. You'd put them in the same category. Maybe I just need to turn in a little bit later for that corner. This is, again, not going to be our fastest lap. It's the one after it where the tyres are finally in. So this is just going to be a semi-decent lap. And then we've got to attack more the next one to get a kind of optimum lap time look anyway. The fact that I'm using a little bit of throttle through Skyline to stabilise the car just shows that it's safe, but also it means that there's definitely more speed potential. I just don't necessarily feel comfortable enough yet to fully send it through there, and maybe now's the time because it's practice. Should probably take second. Ooh, massive curb strike. Right, we're second off. Let's see what this one is with better tyres. Right, more commitment through Skyline. Bad exit, just went too early on the power. I think I can be... I'm maybe going a bit, giving it a bit too much respect as well, that corner. I need to be getting in and early on the power as I am, but I think I've been a little bit too much, like I've been giving away some to make sure I'm at the apex, which is fine, but I know I can go better. Definitely second through there. Obviously tyres were up to speed by this point. Right, first 202 I think that is. So that would have got us pole by 3/10 in the last race. Do another one. Top split guys will be doing like 201s. We saw a 201.4 by someone in practice, which is wild. Let's see, stay in third for Chase. Okay, thanks Joey. Definitely going to stay in third through Griffin. I was pretty good over the top of the mountain on the last lap. This McLaren's going to unfortunately come at a bad time. Yep. Oh, that was a 4X. Really? Okay, that's my latency. Annoyingly, was not a 4X on my screen. Maybe I should yeet it more over the... No, I don't know. Over the dipper, I can be faster on the way in, like just brake less and scrub the speed less and hope that when you go down the when you go down the hill, it sort of scrubs enough, but I don't know if that's the way to do it. Right, there's staying in third. Oh, yeah. All right. Joey, thank you so much. That was it. I just needed to have a better line and not run quite as wide, and then it's easy in third. .202.6 on the optimal now, so the times are coming. The BMW is feeling very similar to the Aston in terms of how you drive it. So I don't mind which car I drive. I don't think it's going to make much difference. Bit of lap time left on the table through there for sure. I just, again, I'm probably going safe on the safe side to make sure I hit the apex. And I'm giving up a little bit of being a bit late in the power or just being a bit too cautious, but it does mean I'm safe. It just means I'm not as quick as I could be. Higher minimum speed that time. It's just a couple of hundreds better. Let's try and get it in earlier. Yeah, not quite as good on the exit, but better on the entry. So there's, again, potential there to find a tiny bit of time. Yeah. Curb again, so we've got to be careful. All right, let's just go full confidence through here. Absolutely go for it and see what happens. I almost died, but I gained a couple of hundreds. And then too deep in there. It's going to cost us all the way down the straight. But, yeah, so more aggressive. I can maybe gain a bit, especially over Skyline, by being more aggressive. Not so much into cutting. I went too aggressive that time and kind of lost anything I gained, so that's good to know. Third in the chase was perfect, so again, big shout out to Joey. Try and use a bit of curb, but I don't think that's the way to go, is it? Maybe it is. Just spotted a name I know in this race. And then too hot into the last corner. All right. 202.4 on the optimal. You know, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Come on, we're gonna win. I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna lose confidence. I'm not gonna lose faith. I'm just gonna say, right, we're gonna go out and we're gonna win this race. That's the plan. In the BMW, that's fine. Low latency is concerning me though. Why is this the case? What can I do about that? I don't think there's anything I can do about that right now. Hey Ryan, welcome to the stream first of all. You like the BMW? Are you doing the 12 hour? Is that what you're looking for the 12 hour? Because obviously for this race it's fixed setup, so the fuel is kind of static. I'm hoping this latency thing is maybe just this session. Maybe that's wishful thinking. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it, to be fair. I'm not going to restart the router now. I think that would be a bit dangerous if we suddenly turned it off and back on. So we'll just see where we're at in the race session, I think. Yeah, I almost died gaining a couple of hundreds. Yeah, yeah, at least it wasn't literal. Let's see. Joey's try staying second in the elbow as well. All right, Joey, I'm gonna listen to you because you were spot on. You were spot on about the chase. So stay second in forest elbow instead of first. Yeah, got that. Third into the cutting is what I was doing anyway. Let me just make sure I'm... Before I embarrass myself, let me just make sure this is the right corner names that I am actually... I know all the corner names at Bathurst, I just don't know which corner is which sometimes. So... yeah, okay, so cutting is the uphill. You think third into the cutting, Ryan? Oh, surely second, though. Surely. Maybe, do you just scrub off the speed? So cutting is the uphill left-hander at turn 3, isn't it? Or turn 4. I also called Griffins... I called Quarry Griffins earlier. That was a mistake. Griffins is the next bit. So you think... Let's go to our fastest lap. Lap 4. How's Ben Bennyworth getting on? So yeah, look, 2010. That's amazing. So that's where we aspire to. Ben's on 2033, so we're pretty close. Hopefully we'll be in the same split if he's doing the next race. Let's see how it looks. Third into the cutting, says Ryan. So Ryan's saying third in here. Let's see. So if I'm going down to I'm going down to second. At one point I was going first. I think second there seems surely that's okay. Oh, okay, all good, all good. I panicked, Ryan. I was thinking it feels like in second it's about perfect. So all good, all good. Thank you for the advice. Hey Craig, welcome along to the stream. Thank you very much. I flew into the wall in the first lap of the last race, so I'll do better next time. Joey, I used to start braking around 20 meters before the 100 meter board. Okay. Let's have a look. So this is when I absolutely sent it down the hill. So too fast there, missed the second part, and then just went for it through the dipper. That was okay. I think I touched the wall there, actually. 20 meters before the 100 meter board. Do you mean for... Hang on. Do you mean for down the bottom? Yeah. Oh no, there's no Falcon board for me. Well, am I on the wrong corner? Which corner? Oh, at the dipper. Oh, you mean, Joey, sorry. You mean for, so that corner, you're 20 meters before the 100 meter board. And then for the dipper, you're at the sign of the right. So there, yeah. I mean, I got my line all wrong. Hopefully I'm not talking nonsense here. Craig, thank you. Thank you for that reassurance. Because I agree. To be fast at Bathurst, you have to be absolutely going for it, don't you? You have to be pushing. And I touched the walls a few times in practice. It's just, I'm just rusty, honestly. It's rust. First race at Bathurst on iRacing. Turn 2, cold tires, just forgetting it was cold for a second because I was too distracted by what was going on around me. I was trying to play it safe. And I lost focus. So yeah, you're right. No, all good, Joey. It's my bad. So I get what you mean. Brake at the Falcon sign on the way down the dipper before Forest Elbow. And then brake just before the 100 meter board into the chase. I nailed the chase on, was it lap 3? I'll go better going backwards. Sorry, bear with me, guys. So 100 boards there. Yeah, braking just before the 100 board, then third. Just missed the curb and then on the power. Yeah, I think that's how we do it. We'll see how the BMW tackles Bathurst. So are any of you watching this then taking on the 12-hour? So I know Ryan's taking on the 12-hour. Good luck, Ryan. Are you in the BMW? And what session are you doing? But anyone else here going to attempt the 12-hour this weekend on iRacing? This is a great way to practice for it. we've got another chance to set a good qualifying lap, and I think the entry list for this one may be similar, if not slightly bigger. So we'll know from our car number that we're assigned for this race, guys. We'll know whether or not we're in contention for a good result or not again. Because I think I was the 8th highest I rating in the last one, so I was just in the top half, and I was on the front row. So if we're similar, expect the pace to be somewhere similar. If we're right at the top or right at the bottom, it's going to be different. Oh, cool. Ah, Kieran's running as well. Sorry, Kieran, not Kieran. Or is it Kier? It could be Kier, it could be Kierman. Good luck. Hello, how's it going? I'm not gonna try and apply a word to that. Steerosity? Are the 3s meant to be E's? I'm not gonna try. But thank you. Hello. Did any of you catch our Assetto Corsa Evo interview yesterday with Marco Massaruto that Tom conducted? Because if you haven't already seen it, Assetto Corsa Evo exclusive free roam footage is available through that interview. Not been seen before. And obviously, more importantly, it's what Marco has to say about the kind of recent career mode controversy, let's say, with the removal of credits and XP and things like that from the career mode plans. There will still be a career mode on Assetto Corsa Evo, it just won't look the same as what it was initially planned to look like, for obviously reasons that are then explained by Marco in the interview. And he then, as well as talking about that, he talks about the general state of sim racing, and he talks about free roam, and obviously we see some footage. He also talks about modding a bit in there as well. So if you're interested in Assetto Corsa Evo and you haven't already seen our video from yesterday, I do recommend, if you've got the time, you don't have to watch it, you can just listen to it, but if you've got the time, you want to hear more from the horse's mouth with Marco Massaruto, check it out. Oval Racers trying it out in the Ferrari, amazing. That is what I want to hear. Oval Racers taking on Bathurst. That's how it should be. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Second hot lap is the one. Will we break into the 202s? And if I do a low 203, I'll be happy. Let's see where we are in the order in terms of I rating. Okay, we're 12th this time. So, oh, Ben is in this race. Amazing. So we've got someone we know to race against. If you're watching this later, Ben Bennyworth, shout out. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, 12th highest I rating, so similar to last time, but slightly. It's going to be slightly harder in theory. Yeah, that's fair, New York Vice. I mean, it's obviously up to anyone's opinion. I think it's an interesting one. I do think that when he talked about career mode specifically, it did sound a little bit like it sounded a bit PR-y, didn't it? Which I guess it has to be to a degree, but I wanted to hear a little bit more about the career mode, and it just sounded a little bit kind of not rehearsed, but I mean kind of rehearsed, yes, and PR-y. But it did. I think he opened up a little bit more further on through the interview, which was good. I just think that it makes sense to me why they've done what they've done. It sounded like they were just struggling with the complexities of how that was affecting other parts of the career mode, and they've decided as a team it's better to focus on other areas, but also to make the other areas work better. We don't want them all to be waiting for the money and the XP to be right, and that's the tricky bit. So, I get it, but it did. I understand that lots of people, I'm sure, some people will think it was great, and some people will think it didn't answer the questions, or it didn't, it wasn't what they wanted to hear. That's totally down to interpretation. So, I did think the modding stuff was interesting, but it depends on, of course, as we've talked about before many times on streams and in videos, it depends on what people want from Assetto Corsa Evo, and a lot of people purchased it based on the career mode stuff. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of frustration when that then gets changed. I guess with all these things, like the proof is in the pudding, right? Well, I've used that term twice on this stream. Wow, I must be hungry. You can say all you like. It's about what we see, and obviously it's always good to hear context for decisions and to hear from people why things are done, because every single decision that's made with any game development situation has a reason behind it, right? What that reason is totally different, but there's always a reason why something is done or not done. So it's good to have the context, but the reality is, like, of course, you know, once AC Evo becomes what it promises to be, then we can say this is great. Until that point, all we can do is compare what we've got with what we're told we're going to get and when. So it's just something to keep an eye on. I'm going to get rid of this lap timer. We'll just go for the... I like having it, so we'll go for the session best lap. Reminder, 2 qualifying laps. So the first one is a bit safe because the tyres aren't there, and I'll go for it more in the second one. Let's just keep the car in good condition, keep the tyres in good condition. Don't hit that curb. Don't do a James Golding. Hit the wall. A little bit safe. Skyline first time. I'll stay second. I forgot. Sorry, Joey. I reckon, Joey, you're probably, based on the advice you've given me so far and it all working, I think you're probably doing like low 201s. I'm going to call it. Okay, so almost got our banker in, then we'll go for it in the next one. Bit safe, but want to get a good exit. Okay, 204 banker. Predictable. Soft target here is to find a second on the delta from the previous lap, so that's what I'm softly aiming for. But of course, I just need to take a clean lap. Oh, that's a good one. 202.2. You guys can't see that, I don't think. 202.2. So we've knocked like, what, 7/10 off our PB? And we're third on the grid. Oh, my goodness. So the competition's ramped up from the last one. Oh. Nice. Yeah, Ryan, that's incredible. I'll take... Oh, hang on. Warning issued. Furied black flag. What does that mean? don't know what that means. I've never seen that before. Anyway, I think we're third on the grid after. So the competition is upped for this race for sure. I think I did a 203.5 last time and was second on the grid, and the pole was a 203.2. So everyone's just, this is just a more competitive split. But hey, I've upped the ante as well. My I rating in this is somewhere, I think it's 2,100 at the moment. But to be fair, I reckon if I was to, I don't think my I rating quite reflects where I would sit once I've done practice. I'm sure everyone says the same, and that's just me being honest. I think, I reckon if I was to iRace more consistently and I was kind of in the zone with it and my I rating was representative, because I very often just jump in a random race like I did earlier and without much prep and just fire on and make mistakes, as you saw. So I reckon it should maybe be closer to around about the 3,000 based on when I remember doing IndyCar series a few months ago, more than a few months ago now, just to, just for 1 week I focused on it and I did like, a couple of hours of practice and I did 3 or 4 races around Sebring and I was on pace with like 3 to 3,500 I rating when I was really in it. The thing is I'm never really in it because I'm jumping between so many different sims, so it's more representative, or I mean, it obviously is representative because it's the rating I have. Therefore, that is completely correct. But yeah, I'm a little bit up and down with my 2,100 I rating. And there will be some, there'll be some categories I could practice loads, and I'm slower than people with 2,000 because it just doesn't suit me and it suits them. It's always all over the place. So there you go. All right, let's get to the grid. This is going to be fierce. Unfortunately, I was really hoping to push for a win based on the last one, but pole position's on a 201.5, and I've got 2 people behind me in the 202s, mid 202s, including Ben Bennyworth, who I know. So hopefully we'll have a good race. But this is going to be more competitive than the previous one. So yeah, I've really got to like focus and get my act together here. They're tire warming, so I'm going to tire warm. Third seemed to be a good starting spot for the last race because the person in third jumped me. So we'll be able to go when the leader goes. It's not happened on this one. But we will defend the inside line. Cold tyres, John. Left room for the car on the outside. I'm going to be wide line again, but I need to focus, fully focus. Porsche's going to get slipstream as well. Right, P4, come on. Fast people around me as well. And that NSX in front of me has hit the wall twice already in 3 corners. 4 times. 3 times, sorry, I can't count. So the NSX is pushing on lap 1 straight away. Another wall hit. Unless it's just my latency that's causing that. Right, settle into a rhythm now. Whew. Try and relax a little bit. This is the BMW, yeah. This is going to be the first race lap ever completed at Bathurst on iRacing for me. So we'll get to the end and then we'll hopefully begin to relax into it a little more. Tyres still won't be perfect, but they'll be better on the next one. feel like I've got more grip than I'm expecting though on this lap. Maybe playing it extra safe. It just feels like I've got more grip than I normally would in an out lap. Target is a podium, guys. Sitting P4. It's a bold target, but that's what I want. I want a podium. And based on that previous lap, that NSX has already hit the wall multiple times, so it's pushing very hard. There's another wall hit. Right, we've gapped P5. Well, P5's crashed, I think, or gone off. So we've now got a bit of a gap back to the new P5. We're still... I can see Martin Kuzela out in front, 4.5 seconds away, but he's done a mid 201 in quali, so P2 seems to be going with. I think it's basically already turned into a can we keep up with P3 with the amount they're pushing. I'm hoping I'll come back to them later on, but let's just see. Some corners I can still be a bit braver on the brakes. .202 in the first lap, 202.9. So pace is that's pretty strong. For anyone who's looking to do the fixed setup races in GT3 this week, it appears that the BMW just has a little bit of an edge over the Aston. Maybe I could have got that pace out of the Aston with a few more laps because I didn't do that many, but I would say the BMW's proven the pace easier. Oh, another wall hit. Surely it's latency. I've never seen iRacing like this before. I've never seen it where the cars are floating the way they are right now. So it's a bit strange, and it's multiple cars, which makes me think it's a me thing. That was close. Get more to the inside earlier for the exit there of the dipper because into Forest Elbow, because if I get in earlier, I can use the banking more. There's a stronger banking on the inside, and I think I'm just being a bit too kind of patient on the turn in. I need to kind of get it in there and use the banking to my advantage, be a bit more aggressive probably. It's a decent lap. I'm fairly pushing on. I'm still doing, I mean, that's a 202.7 on that one. So, and I'm not catching. So race pace is pretty fierce. I'm only 7/10 now ahead of P5, so I was hoping to be chasing down P3. It looks like it's a battle for P4 at this point, because I am not losing much time compared to what I could be doing, let's say. I was quicker in qualifying, so maybe I just need to be a little bit braver and a bit more, treat it more like qualifying. That's better. Much better. Oh, no, that was it. That was me trying to go in tighter and more aggressive. I was 6/10 up on the lap. That's going to be a little bit of damage, but not much. And I knew it was coming. I just went too bold. Too bold. Alright, what's going to happen here? I'm going to defend the inside or the outside. Just going to park it somewhere in the middle. And he's backed off. Let's see where the damage is as well. It wasn't a nothing hit, let's say, but it also wasn't huge. In real life, it would be slightly bent steering and some bodywork damage for sure. Maybe even a broken suspension in real life. Still my fastest lap. That's ridiculous. So we've got a much faster lap in us. I think I'm turning ever so slightly left. Just going to ignore it and get confident again. Find that rhythm. Can't pass into here. Yellow flag, that's terrifying. All good. Oh, what happened to the Porsche? It spun, did it? Oh, I've got 4 times. Okay, I didn't realize. Oh no, what I'm just wondering is this latency. Because I got 4 times there and I had no idea about it on my screen. Oh, he hit me. Okay. Okay. Did he hit me? Did he go that close through there? Obviously I was looking forward, right, which I should have been doing. So I did not feel or see an instant there. Thank you, Cameron. So I don't think he did a Thomas Randall at the 12 hour. I don't think the car's too bad. As soon as this race is finished, guys, how long have I got to go? Because of qualifying, I don't actually think I'll be able to make the fixed race, so I'll have to wait for the next one at the same time again. That's fine. Confidence is coming in now a little bit. Just a smidgen of confidence. Too late in there, though. That's the danger of confidence. I'm now managing to find my flow through there, not hitting the curb every time. So it's just laps is what I needed. Have to turn out of that, though. Optimal's now a 202.0, so that's what we can do. Oh, I'm third. What happened? The leader's gone off. How long have I been in third? I've not noticed. Was it the leader that spun at the top? When there was a yellow flag and we went past the BMW, was that one of the front two? I honestly didn't even check. I obviously was looking forward to make sure I didn't have a Rolf Aaron type crash. Yeah, it was Kazela. It was our leader. Wow. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, you guys are seeing much more than me. Thank you for that, Motorsport Life. So the podium was the aim, and we're on for it with 7 minutes to go. Got to stay focused. Finding more confidence through that corner. Just need to get this one a bit more, slow down a bit better, and then get it in. Oh. Too close to the wall on the exit. I don't have quite the grip, I think, through the first half of the lap compared to that fast lap I did before I crashed. It's just the relative suggests that I'm just not quite there. Maybe it's tire wear, maybe it's a tiny bit of damage, I don't know. All could be placebo. I'm 3/10 down now, heading into this section where it all went wrong. Not been great for battles, I'm afraid, so sorry about that, but it's taking up all of my attention right now. .49. .7 seconds to P2, so it's stabilized, I'd say. 3 seconds to P4. So it looks like P2 is running similar sort of pace to me when I'm doing a decent job. I'm so annoyed about that crash still. Better. Much better. Bit of a lift and then on it. Rhythm's coming. I said at the start of the stream, the more laps I do here, the more I'm essentially getting into the rhythm. This lap time should come, so by the end of the day, the pace should be there, and it is getting. I mean, if we can now do consistent mid 202s to high 202s at that, you know, without and the capability of a low 202, then that's a much big progress from the. I can't even get my words out, but it's big progress from the start. Let's say when I was delighted with a low 203. 2.8 seconds. So yeah, the gap. I'm actually gap in P4, and it's just. I think Yu Hang Chao is just pulling away slightly in P2. Maybe I don't have any damage. That made a bigger difference than I thought to the lap time, the way I exited that corner. Just the angle I was at, a bit narrower, and it worked. Gained another 10th, even though I was slower into it, I think. 2.7, it's just totally stable. We're all too similar for an exciting race, I'm afraid. We've got 2 minutes left though, so at this point it's just surviving for a podium. Last lap. Another 202.5, so that's a 202.49, 202.51, 202.55. So we've found a rhythm. A slight mistake from Yuhang in the first corner, so we've gained 0.6 there, but nothing more than a small mistake. That was a small mistake from me, but I recovered it quite well. Got a great exit. Oh, got my line wrong. I knew that was coming. You could see from the entry to McPhillamy, basically, if you don't get turned in like before that yump, even though you heard me lift out a lot more than usual because I knew I was going to miss the corner, even with that massive lift, I still couldn't keep it on the road. It just shows you how much that corner is about getting in early. Because you'd think, oh, leaving it out wider a bit longer the way, and yeah, I might need to be a bit slower to get there, but then you'd think I'd have a better line, a better exit, but it just doesn't work like that. So, yeah, I was kind of lucky there, I would say. I was careful, but Yuhang struggling on this lap or backing off because he knows he's safe. Either took big damage or is just lifting and being careful. Anyway, P3, we got the podium. That's what I was looking for. I'll take it. Great recovery from the first race, which was a disaster, as you well know. And yeah, it was a strong split as well, I think. Pace was pretty good, and yeah, I think suddenly I'm like, okay, I can see why people can do a 201. My optimal there was a 201.1, sorry, 202.1. Apparently, according to the session, it was a 201.9. So yeah, 201.9. I mean, that is not a million miles away on a fixed setup, so I'm happy with that. I've got to do some work. Hey, hopefully, Mr. Brake Thompson, that you can learn a little bit from the stream in terms of where you might be losing time. I mean, 205 is not bad at all. It's such a tricky track. It's just it's so much about the balance and the moment you turn in, the confidence, and you just need to trust the car. There's a few corners where I think I'm braking too early and then kind of almost having to lift or wait until I get there, and then bam. And it's just like I'm giving up a bit on the entrance, I think. But I don't know the intricacies of these GT3 cars in iRacing. I don't race them regularly enough to really understand them. So I kind of jump in, get somewhere I feel comfortable, and as you can see, the pace is coming through the race. I'm getting better and better, but I'm still not 100%. I know I'm not quite there. I want to see the incident again, where I almost, apparently I got a 4X. Make sure there was nothing crazy. Here it was. Ah, okay. All good. I honestly, when the car, for me, when I turned into the corner and the backs came around a little bit, it was by contact. I thought it was just the rear stepping out, because that corner, it does that sometimes. But no, I'm okay with that. I just had a more sensible line than the Porsche. Just got it wrong. So that's all good. I was actually really lucky, to be honest. I was lucky. Oh yeah. According to my replay, oh, and it took out the next one as well. Just a big misjudgment. always a shame when an incident takes out someone else that's completely innocent, right? Just unfortunate. But just looks like a bit of a mistake. Oh yeah, I should have looked at the replay for third. Should have seen what happened. I've already. If I quit this, I think it'll quit it anyway, won't it? I don't want to. I'm gonna save the replay, just in case we want to go back to it. Can I do it here? No, I've committed now. Oh. We've got one more. We've got one more in about 20 minutes' time. We'll have a look at the results, though. P3, average lap time of 2:03.2, which I think is pretty good. But you can see there, like, the leader, 2:01.5, we were 2:02.4, so we never had the outright pace, but I think my optimal was good enough. Owen Liu actually did a 2:02.2 as well, so I think there's a few of us that are kind of there or thereabouts. I got the 5x, which is actually more incident points than I got for the first race, ironically. But now you can see my iRating's gone up, so I'm 2,250 from that one. Lost a bit of safety rating, which again is a bit unfortunate considering there was only one real mistake in there. It's the way it goes. We were in the second split as well. So the first split, the strength of field was like 3,300. I don't really want to know what the pace is there. I mean, I do. So we don't have the fixed race, unfortunately. I was hoping we'd get out of this one time, but the 8-minute qualifying kind of puts pay to that. So yeah, we've got this one in 20 minutes. We'll do one more before we leave. I will try my best to get a win, or you know, it totally depends on the pace of the cars around me, to be fair. Stick to the BMW because I feel like I'm in a routine with that now. Didn't really get into any good battles there either. What we will do though is we'll go and watch the replay of the second one just to see what happened. I backed out too quickly. Why Bathurst is the greatest? Why was I looking at that? Oh, it's because I was looking up the chord. I was like, why am I reading about the magic of Bathurst when I was... I know the magic of Bathurst. It's because I was looking for... the track map to make sure I was getting the corners right. That was it. But look, I'll show you this article again. Just because look at this picture. Look at that. That is stunning. And from that angle, it makes the... it makes Skyline and the S's look way tighter. Like, really, really... It makes them look exceedingly tight. I'm just loading up the replay still. What do you think? Do you think... I mean, I got a podium in that race. I guess we're not going to know pace until we see what strength the split is for this next one. So I can't really get predictions in. But now I feel race ready after that race. Like I've basically, you know, relaxed my shoulders. I've got the tension out of that first race and the mistake on the first lap. And hopefully that means that we can just go at this one and maybe find more of that pace earlier on. We won't find it in the first 2 laps because of the tires, but if we can get down to the low 202s, don't hit the wall, don't have the big damage or anything. I don't even know if I had damage, probably didn't. But I kind of felt like I might do, so I was driving just a tiny bit within myself and then realised that it was okay. So we'll see. Here we go. Right, we're loading in. Get my chat back up. There we go. So what happened to the race leader? So this is when I was battling with the Porsche. Let's go full screen. Meanwhile, just up the road, here was our leader in the BMW. So let's see. Ah, okay. Battle. All right, let's go chase then. Far chase. Let's see what happened between these two. So a bit of a mistake from the Beamer. Gets loose. Dan then looks to the inside, cuts to the outside. Wow. All the way around the outside. There's going to be an incident here between the two because of the battling, isn't there? Oh. Oh. It's not even... Ah, that's such a shame. I think it's latency. There was not contact there, so that's netcode. So these two were ready to have a great race. So Dan goes around the outside. Fair play, first of all. Heads to the outside, confident under braking. That's brave, because you don't know if you're going to understeer there, and the car's it's not a racing line, so your balance is a bit off. Fair play to Dan for going for it, but also for the BMW for leaving room. They both give each other room into here. That's beautiful side-by-side racing. Spot on from both drivers. The BMW naturally goes out a bit wider, but still you can see tries to leave the Corvette room. I don't think he was trying to squeeze him there. Maybe he was. I'm maybe being a bit kind. It's hard to tell. But I think the BMW just naturally runs a bit wide, and I think he's probably thinking he's got the corner at this point. The Corvette makes a touch contact, but thankfully they don't spin there. Then the Corvette's the curb bounce, so I thought, oh, the curb bounce is going to send him into the Beamer here. But actually, after the curb bounce, Dan does so well to stop his car going too wide. And because actually, before the contact is made, you can actually see that he saved it, or he's avoided... The curb didn't send him into the BMW, he actually saved it after that. It was the netcode afterwards. So here, look, saves it, and then boom. Like, what can you do? And that's if my replay is accurate to what they saw, which I don't know if it is. There's me. Yeah, that's a shame. That is a shame. So, fresh cut, what do you think? What was over the line? Do you think the Beamer squeezing the Corvette here, which I don't know, or... I honestly, personally, don't think anything was too bad there at all. The worst bit there was that, just opening out the steering a tiny bit. But I think either Martin thought he was clear, or the car just naturally went out a little bit. Oh, you think the Vette poking its nose in? Yeah, but the Vette was already there. So, like, in my opinion, at that point, the Corvette has earned space. I get why there's an argument in modern F1 and modern racing that the car in front at this point has the room and the Corvette needs to back out. But because the Corvette's got a nose there and had it since this corner, I think the Corvette's earned the space. Obviously, it's Bathurst, so that curb is going to kill you. That's the problem. But yeah, fair play. You think the... Oh, okay. Interesting. Watch it one more time. It's a shame it ended up in a crash. Yeah, I think it was. I honestly think it was okay. I think they were unlucky, but that's just my opinion. It was on the edge for sure. There's one other thing I wanted to see. Lap 1. How many times did the car in front of me hit the barrier? So, who was the car in front of me on lap 1? Was it actually the... Oh no, it was the Honda, yeah. So, I don't know if this was latency. I'm going to keep saying that just in case. But on my screen, there was about five bits of contact here, so let's just see. Incident. So was it latency or was it real? Okay, no, he touches the wall there. You saw the sparks. Pretty sure that was a wall touch. So that's one. Fair play for the confidence, by the way. Was that a wall touch? That's so hard to see. If that's maybe just the sparks from the curb. No, I think that was. It was. Front left. Can we go front left? Oh, I mean, it's harsh. So hard to see. Ah, it's the rear. Okay, rear left. Rear left. So that's one. The first one was... Yeah, that touched. So that's 2. Then there's a third one here. 3. That's a big one. So it's 3 wall touches. That's harsh. That's harsh. That's curb maybe. So we'll give him that one. What's going on there? I don't know. There's a sparks before he got near it. That's not right. Yeah, this is. I totally agree. Fresh cut. That's what I'm saying. This is all. This could be all latency. Like this might not be legit. It might just be my interpretation of it, and it was maybe because the Honda was so on it the whole race and just right close to the edge. And if you run it that close, if the representation of my replay isn't quite right, it might not be. So there you go. But hey, there was at least on my screen there was 4 sets of sparks. So regardless of whether it was or not, fair play, properly pushing it and perfectly getting away with it basically, because none of those incidents are going to cause any issues. Right, we'll get into the practice server then with 10 minutes. While it's loading, I'm going to run for a quick pee. We'll do a few laps to get up to speed and see if we can do those low 202s. And then we'll do our final race of the day. So back in a mo. Where am I going? What button am I pressing? There we are. Right, I'm back. And as I went away there, I just had a thought. I always bang on about how the Porsche curves at the Circuit de la Sarthe, Le Mans, are my favourite corners, or favourite sequence of corners in the world, of anything. But Bathurst, over the mountain, after basically the cutting, which is the uphill left-hander where you saw the Corvette pull alongside and they went side by side, right? From that corner, the 4th corner, if you get a really good exit from the cutting and you see the delta going green and then you stay flat out through the next part, stay flat out through the second right-hander, stay flat, like if you can just keep on holding it there all the way through and you're able to come out the other side, so flat through Solomon, flat through McPhillamy, not flat through McPhillamy, if you get McPhillamy right, the proper lift, and you get the line right and everything. And basically, that moment where you are, let's say, you came out of the cutting and you maybe were a 10th green or something like that, but you saw the green getting bigger. And then if you get all of that right, all the way over the mountain, and then you come out of McPhillamy Park and you're like 4 or 5 tenths up or something because you've just nailed it, that is up there. Like in terms of a hot lapping experience, that is totally up there with some of the best experiences you can have in sim racing. It's just so satisfying. It's so satisfying when you get that right. And I just think that It's yeah, with Porsche curves, if you're on a hot lapping situation, here it is. So where Evan is now, power on there, get a good exit. You're green, you're thinking, right, I'm gaining, you get that curb, you're still flat, I'm still gaining, you get close to that wall, then you're flat through here, and you're still gaining, you run close to the wall, and it's just like a buzz. It's an absolute buzz. You really, really enjoyable. You can get this corner flat if you get the line right, don't touch the curb. Again, at this point, you're still gaining if you kept it flat. This is the one where you have to lift, but again, this is the point here before Skyline. Okay, Evan's got it wrong, but that's what I'm talking about. That moment there is the one. So there you go. Am I doing the 12 hours? I would absolutely love to do the 12 hours, but I can't. I'm actually driving from Glasgow to Nottingham tonight after this. So basically, as soon as the stream finishes, I've got a few other bits and pieces to do in terms of video stuff. And then I am packing, and then we're driving to Nottingham, and then we're going to go to Holland tomorrow. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss it. This is like a little preview. For everyone who is doing it, I'm very jealous, but we'll treat this as like a little preview. Josh asked, though, did I watch Bathurst last week? Yes, I did. I watched the whole thing with a few... I kind of fell behind a bit at the start, so I kind of skipped through it. Just kind of stopping to see what was going on when there was cautions and things like that. But yeah, I watched most of it, and it was really good. I think the 12 hours been through a bit of a quiet patch, really. It sort of hit its peak a number of years ago, and there were lots and lots of cars and all the top drivers were there, and it got very, very exciting, and then it sort of just died down a little bit, didn't it? And I feel like this year was the first in a long time where it really felt back on form. Like there was 34 cars or something like that, most of them GT3. I think there was one GT4 car and then an invitational car, and aside from that it was like all GT3s, which I love. Multi-class racing, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and at Bathurst having to weave through traffic is ridiculous, but to have that many cars that were all, you know, in contention essentially to win the race, because even the lower classes still had a chance to win. And the way Bathurst works, if you get your strategy right, if you get a bit lucky on a caution and you put your pro driver in for the last stint, you've got an amazing chance of winning. So it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I just love the jeopardy of Bathurst as well. Like, no one wants to see anyone get hurt. Like, and the perfect example is like the James Golding accident. Like the jeopardy of getting it wrong by touching the wall. Thankfully, he was not hurt at all. But it's just like there's no margin, absolutely no margin for error, and there's nowhere to go, which makes it dangerous. And also, you know, a lot of that, the speed and the closeness to the walls and stuff is what makes it so exciting. So I'm just such a big fan of this circuit, and I'm glad the 12-hour is back on form. Right, first lap we're not going to get there with the tyres, so we'll do one lap here. This is a qualifying practice run, so I'm going to do this lap, and then we're going to go for another low 202. Yeah, that's it. This is the thing, Fresh Cut. You can be so confident and in such a good rhythm around Bathurst, right? And you're on it. You've got your lines right. You feel comfortable, and yet still it's exhausting, because even when you're absolutely on it and you're feeling in a total rhythm, and even if you're backing off ever so slightly, you're still always like one tiny input away from a massive crash. Every curb that you hit, every bump that you go over could send the rear round. You've got to be like paying attention. This corner here, flat, but the rear wants to step out on you. To get this corner flat, you have to get as close to the wall as you can get away with, and then you've got to get the turning point right. If you touch the curb, you're dead. McPhillamy, again, if you turn in too late, you're dead. Skyline, if you brake over the wrong bit, or you're not quite straight with the steering, or you hit that wall on the inside, you're dead. Easy to touch the inside wall here, easy to touch the inside wall here, easy to touch the outside wall there and lose the back end, and this wall, like every single corner has jeopardy, one input away. So it doesn't matter if you're within your limits or you're comfortable and you love the track, it's like, it's exhausting. So a double stint here is just amazing, absolutely amazing. Alright, qualifying simulation, and then we're actually into qualifying in 3 minutes. Oh my god. Look forward. We'll go compared to the session best lap. Alright, come on. A low 202 is what I want. Well, that's gone. Massively missed the apex, just trying to be brave, and you see all that time disappearing. We'll still go for a good rest of the lap, though. Touch the wall on the inside. Whoa, it's been shocking. Good thing getting out of my system before qualifying. I actually think the tyres maybe take one more lap to be perfect, based on the fact that, you know, I was getting so confident in that last race towards the end of the race, and my lap times were just coming down and down and down. The fuel was obviously burning off. There's another wall tap. The fuel was burning off, but I do wonder if actually maybe there's something in the tyres as well, just being not quite... Maybe it takes more than 2 laps to get them absolutely perfect, but I might be totally wrong. Yeah, this is it. You're not... You sum it up, fresh cut. Like, I looked at the chat for, what, 3 seconds, and I looked back and I was almost off in the wall, and that was the easiest part of the circuit. I reckon I can get away with a bit of curb there if I need to. That lap was a shocker. What was that? 2:03.9, miles off it. Maybe the track's not as grippy in the practice, I don't know. We'll get one more in anyway. I just hit the wall a few times actually. It was a pretty bad lap now that I think about it. Nope. Way too wide. Such fine margins. Too early. Don't think I'm getting that right at all anymore. Just maybe a bit too fast that time. Qualifying's underway anyway, so... We got the optimal down by a 10th, but I was not that good in that little practice session, so I'm going to treat that as... I'm going to say it was a good thing I did it, because let's just assume that's now out of my system, eh? We've got one more chance to pick up a race win. I'll take the podium in race 2. That was the best I could have done, for sure. So we're going to accept it. Once we see what the iRating is and the strength of this split is, I'll get a score. I'll get a position prediction for the race as well. So what other stuff's on this weekend? So the Bathurst 12-hour on iRacing is on. We have the opening round of the Supercars Championship. Obviously F1 testing, day 3 today. Probably right now, actually. What else is on this weekend? Rally Sweden last weekend was good. Got to wait till April for British touring cars, unfortunately. IndyCar's gone testing as well at Phoenix. I'm sure NASCAR is on. It's always on. Black-Hearted 666. I am going to investigate that very question at some point. We have a date where we're going to jump on and try it. So I'm going to withhold anything on that for now because I have not been playing it. I need to see. we wanted to wait a certain number of updates before we revisited it for a video or anything like that. So we will be doing something on it, but I've not been trying it very much since to be honest, since the disappointment of the kind of final version. So I'm afraid, sit tight, ask. Hopefully someone else has been playing it and can give you an answer now if that's what you're looking for. But it's not me right now, I'm afraid. Obviously, unfortunately, there was a lot of redundancies as well after the launch, so hopefully the team, I mean, I know the team are desperate to make it right and make it as good as it possibly can be, and there have been quite a few updates. So I'm hoping when I jump on and try it that certain elements of it are going to be improved, but I don't know how much. That's the question, really, and which elements that were the most problematic, depending on your experience, whether you're a career mode fan or an iRacing fan, or you're just a fan of physics and the way it drives. Like, there's so many different questions. Which I will try to investigate and answer for you in a video, but just not right now, I'm afraid. So give me a bit of time, and I'll get back to you. So I was going to check what... Oh, okay, we're 16th. All right, this is going to be tough. We're the 16th highest iRating in this split, so really we've got nothing to... We're nothing to lose. Like, we're expected to finish 16th. The quick guys from the last race are all here who could do 201s. So with that in mind... Let's do a quick poll before qualifying. I've got to be quick, because if not, I'm going to miss a qualifying lap. Alright, there you go. Poll is up. Yeah, it's unfortunately it's the way it goes. It's not a massive surprise, unfortunately, because of the pressure that would have been on it, of course. I'm getting out there to make sure I get my laps in. Got some more warnings, latency, packet loss. We'll not look at the standings until afterwards. So again, guys, we are the 16th highest iRating out of 19. So it's a more competitive field this time around, but obviously I'm in a better place. I've had more practice. I feel now I can't use the excuse of I'm not really up to speed, I've not really done much, and I'm unprepared, because these races have prepared me, I think, just based on the last race, how much more consistent I was doing mid-202s. So I've not got that same excuse anymore. But we do have a much more competitive grid. When I made this poll and I put the positions in, I have a target in mind. I've not seen qualifying yet, but I do have a race position target in mind, which I will tell you after. Based on just iRating alone. No idea how qualifying will give us a much more realistic, representation of how many people are doing 201s, really. That's the question. I think I punched above my weight in qualifying last time a little bit. I really did a good lap. Hopefully I can do it again. Right. Banker first. I appreciate that, Astrovor. Need to get in a bit earlier there, because I think if I don't turn in early enough in the braking zone, if I leave it too long, I find I actually have much less of a chance of getting hooked in. So I need to be more aggressive on the way in there, for sure. Tyre's still coming in a little bit, so let's not have any contact with the barrier or any big lockups or anything. I know I've got ABS, but still, no tyre damage, please. Just warmth. Need to get more, slow down better, I think, into Forest Elbow. Alright, next one's the one. Let's push. Let's see what we can do. Not great. First corner, messed that up. Just went in a bit too hot. Couldn't get fully on the power. Red warning now in the top right. That's worrying. Nope. Oh dear. Terrible. We're going to be mired in the pack. Absolutely. It also feels like darker, I think, in this one than it did in the last one. I'd wonder if also the track's maybe slightly different. I'm not sure on that one. Nailed Skyline. Yeah, it's going to be a poor lap. Nowhere near our low 202, that's for sure. But it's still, this one's still going to be an improvement. So hopefully we just need to try and get as many as we can, really. We're going to be right in the middle of the pack, though. Undoubtedly. Oh dear, scrappy, 2035. That's basically the same as our first qualifying run. Nowhere near the low 202. I do think the track, is it slightly slower? Is it cold? I don't, if it's colder, it's surely faster. I don't know. Depends how cold. 2017, 2018. Nah, I don't think it's any slower. I mean, Martin, I say that. Martin and Owen, 2026. We know that Martin can do 201s in the last one. Owen, 2033. Is it a mistake? Yuhang's not done any laps yet. So I don't know. Maybe it is a little slower. If pole is a 2017 and I'm one of the lowest rated, maybe it's the top split. Not sure. But either way, I messed up, clearly. I had too much faith in the car. I was I had that. Do you remember the moment in the second race where I said, I've now got the confidence? It was like that moment where I realized I can brake later here, I can get the power early here, and I can get that line and it's good. That's what I've been trying since then, and that's where I've been making the mistakes. Like, I've been trying to do that, and I've just been missing slightly the apex, or running wide, or getting on the power too early. So it's just, it's fascinating. I wonder if I was just more, the car was lighter, less fuel, and the tires were just working well at that point. I'm not sure. Interesting. A bunch of services are having problems. Probably not on your end with the latency. That's weird. Very weird. Ross, absolutely have I died. I died so early. I died so early. You can watch it later. I'll not spoil it for you. But yeah, very died. But then it went better after that. So there's been a bit of both. We're about to do our final race. I am starting in certain death position of 16th on the grid. No, that's not right. That's the iRacing. Let's do it by qualifying. 1, 2, yeah, 13th on the grid. All right. So 13th to start. Martin, who was dominant in Split 2 last time, or then had a crash, is 7th. Or he didn't have a crash, but he did. He had contact with the BMW. So that was like the pace in Split 2. I think we're in Split 1 now. So yeah, I mean, let's see what we can do from 13th is all I'll say. I obviously gave away half a second easy on that quali lap, which could have put us there, 8th. Will I be bold? Yeah, very died. Very died. Kieran, that's amazing. I'm glad that the stream made you want to race. That was the idea. And hopefully you'll enjoy your race. Good luck if you're still listening. And maybe you'll mute me for the race because I chat a lot and that can be very distracting. Best of luck, though. What was I going to say? The pace... So the number I had in mind during qualifying was a bit bold, but I was thinking I was wanting to get 6th in this race, which matches what the winner of the poll suggests that you guys thought I would finish. That was before qualifying. So I know we have to readjust now. But yeah, now I've seen the pace and everything, I'm going to put my target on. I know I'm 13th in the grid, but I'm going to say P8. I want to finish 8th. That's the question. So can we finish top half in the top split, or half? You know, we're expected to finish 16th according to our iRating. So let's try and finish 8th. I'm actually struggling a little bit for some frames, which is weird. iRacing, I never have a problem with that, so I don't know what's going on there. Something's a bit weird with iRacing today. Alright, cold tyres, John. I'm not going to run the 12-hour at Bathurst because I'm away, unfortunately. I've already had a crash. Let's just be very careful towards turn 1. Car on its roof. I'm alive. Oh, it's spicy at the beginning. I'm not expecting this to end well. Funny that. Anyway. What is going on? Come on, cold tires. Stay focused. You can see I was backing out of all those corners, and that's exactly why. So I wanted full control of my car when I got to the apex. Maybe P6 is back on the cards, guys, but I think we've got fast drivers behind us. 3 of them right behind us. Yeah, Adam, be scared. Be scared. This has been the worst, though. Like the other ones, I didn't see as much chaos. I mean, I was the chaos in the first one, but it was a different kind of chaos. Just wanting everything to settle down now. I'm not feeling settled in the car yet. I think performance is still a little, for some reason, just not quite there. I mean, in terms of just how everything's looking and feeling on the server and everything, rather than the car. I think the car is just warming up still, of course. We are P6 at the moment, I think. Ooh, Aston into the wall in front. Aston off. Are we P4? Oh my word. This place. Alright, come on. Car's gonna be good in the next lap, so it's time to go. Now, I know that the car right behind me, Yuhang Zhao, that was the driver that was directly in front of me in the last race, and I was absolutely, when I was on it and I was in my rhythm and I was nailing my laps, I was still just dropping back. Like, or I think I managed to stabilize it by the end. So I know the driver behind is very quick, and I have to be at my A game to stay ahead, or to keep the gap at least. So that is going to be the target, basically. I need to be, every lap is essentially a qualifying lap, or 99%, 98% of a qualifying lap, if I want to keep this position. I do think we're in P4 now, though. We are. Last lap was a 205.6. How was it a 205? It didn't feel that bad. Anyway. Oh no, because I had avoided the crash. Sorry, I forgot. Literally had to avoid a spinning Aston with the brakes. Just not quite getting 60 frames. Don't know what's going on. Right, Yuhang seems a bit more like able to find the pace sooner than me, because again he's caught up by 3/10. I'm not there in the 202s yet. I need a few more laps, I think. Horrible missed apex. It's going to be a 203. Where are my 202s? Come on. I honestly do think the track is not... At this session, the track's... Just because it feels like everyone is just shifted slower. And I might be totally wrong, but it does feel like the track's not as grippy as the last race. I think that could be a factor, you know. No, I'm going to keep it smooth. 1 second. I'm not even paying attention to that. Just eyes forward for the moment. I do think this is the top split, guys. I'm not 100% sure. It's first or second, but I think it might be the first, based on our iRating stuff. I'm finding I've been going second ever since. I do wonder though, first just gets me slowed down that little bit better. I might be totally wrong. Marco in P6, 3.8 seconds, then it's 8 seconds to P7, so that's good. It's just Yuhang that's the threat right now. But I know I can keep with him if I'm doing my best. Yuhang was the driver in the NSX that we watched the replay of last time that it looked like he was tapping the walls everywhere. Another 203. Where is my rhythm? Ah, interesting. Graphics. Bathurst graphics update. But I don't know. I don't think I've got the graphics turned particularly high. I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I was taking photos and I forgot to turn them back down. Because iRacing is normally the most stable of them all. Sorry, that's NSX getting very close. Sorry, Yuhang. So hard to apply any brain to anything other than Bathurst when Bathursting. Come on, brain. I need more RAM. I need more internal RAM. I'll take some out the PC and pop it in my noggin. It's going alright, Oz. I think, we think this might be the top split. I'm 16th highest iRating in this race out of 19, so I should be towards the back, but bad qualifying. Then I've kept it clean on the first lap, stayed out of trouble, and then I found myself in 4th after a couple more things have happened, so it's going well. I'll do my best to hang on to this position, but it's going to be a challenge. Don't know why we're so much slower. Don't know why we're so much slower than the last race. Is that the sun coming out? I think it's the track's just gotten lighter, so maybe the track will get better now. $15 seconds off of P2. That's, I mean, incredible pace from Christian and Jack, really. Like, phenomenal. And I mean, to be fair, I would have lost a lot of that in the first lap based on the traffic I was in and everything. But still. Knew it was coming a mile off. Same as earlier, like, I cannot explain to you how helpless it is once you've missed that apex ever so slightly. It's like you're done. You're never getting it back. And then I was just watching my mirror to make sure I could cover Yuhang without doing anything rude. And yeah, I was okay. Whew. I was faster on that lap until that point though, wasn't I? I was up like half a second on the delta, so the 202s were coming, and I don't know if that's coincidence, it's coincided with the sun coming out. Back markers between me and P2 now. So that's going to come into play. Alright, come on. Do better. That's worse. Four tenths. Too wide, too late on the power, but we're okay. So much better. Okay, gap's back up to 1.1, so are we just kind of matching each other now? 5 minutes to go, guys. Wait a minute. When did I get P... I know I said a minute ago front two are up in front. I thought it was P4. When did P3 happen? I've just clocked that when I said that, I must have been in P3. I hadn't even noticed. I need to stop looking though, I need to focus. That's finally a 2:02.9. He got... Ah, okay, got retired. That's a shame. Not a shame for my position, but yeah, shame for whoever that was in the top three. Horrible. No. Two small mistakes in two corners. 4 tenths gone. Just like that. For anyone that caught the the Dirt Rally stream, you'll just know that it's like, if I speak, it seems like the next two corners are a write-off. They're just not as good. If you watch Dick Johnson in the Bathurst, like the 1986 Bathurst 1000 or something, and they're like interviewing Dick Johnson while he's driving, and they say, do you think, at one point they were like, do you think talking to us live on this broadcast is like costing you lap time? And in those days it was perfectly fine to just ask this and do this while in the middle of a race. And he was like, yeah, maybe like a 10th a lap or something like that. And I'm like, a 10th? How does he, like, a 10th is nothing. But fair play. I mean, willing to speak to the camera while racing and knowing you lose a bit of time is pretty cool. But I mean, back in those days, the gaps were a bit bigger anyway in general, so it was a little bit less of a sprint race and it was more of an endurance race. Looking after the car. See, speaking into the last corner, boom. 2 tenths. 2:03.5. Blech. Come on. Hot lap time. 8 tenths to P4. Thanks for the info, guys. So we could be on for a podium. Let's see. A second podium in a row. And a very unexpected one at that, but I just need to get this right. So full focus. I'm so jealous of everyone doing the 12-hour. That was sketchy. Six tenths, 1 minute 50 seconds to go. Marbles all over the road, someone's been off. Come on. One lap to go. The redemption after the first race is on the cards. If I don't mess it up. Are you winning, son? Ben, I call this a win. I call this a win with the split that I believe I'm in right now and the circumstances of this race. Before qualifying, I was hoping for a top 6. After qualifying, I was hoping ambitiously for a top 8. So yes, I'm winning at the moment, but it's not over yet. Hope you're doing well. When are you going to add Bathurst? That's what I'm asking. I said it in the podcast a few days ago. Find an excuse, please. Focus on the exit. Yuhang's gone in pretty deep, I think. Half a second back. Maybe tried to be super aggressive on the last lap. I've been deliberately not even paying attention to him, to be honest. I've been trying to just do my own thing. I know it's not been very exciting. I don't think there's been a single battle in this whole stream that's actually been like a good battle for position. It's just been close running, mistakes, contact between people, and avoidance. It's not really been racing. It's the nature of it sometimes. But it is authentic, like that's real racing for you sometimes, and that's what we want. Double podium, and a very unexpected podium. And you guys didn't believe it was going to happen. I think you were 68% voting for 4th to 6th, and that was before I qualified in 13th. So you didn't think it was going to happen, I didn't think it was going to happen. Attrition obviously played, I mean, pretty much the entire part there. Especially, I mean, lap 1 I did some good avoiding, but hey, that's it. Oh, you just came from the podcast. Yeah. Find a way. Please. Right, let's see how we get on. 3rd place. Yeah, I mean, delighted. Let's just go back and watch that first lap again, because that was interesting. So, yeah, if you missed the start then, we were already, I mean, so what's we're 13th here. Now we're 12th. Very safe into turn 1. 11, 10, back to 11th. So I think we're either 10th or 11th at this point. Now we're 10th, let's say. There's Ben up there in the green BMW. 9th, 8th. Which one of those was you, Ben? Also, ironically, considering what you've just said about how you would be in the wall in the first lap, go and check out the first lap of the first race I did on the stream, and then come back. So yeah, crazy first lap. I mean, I don't know what we're in at this point. It's 8th or something. And then this Aston makes a mistake, I think on lap 2. Yeah, just gets loose, cold tires. And then I think cars behind, unfortunately, got involved. Yeah, look. So Yuhang probably got a bit of damage from that, potentially. Quite happy with my avoidance. Oh, I'm so sorry. Poor Ferrari. I mean, not only... I mean, there's nothing the Ferrari could have done. I think I had a much better situation there. Because for me, I hit the brakes. At this point, I can decide which way to go. So I'm like, okay, I got the car under control. I saw he was sliding left. So I committed to the right because he wasn't going to go back right. But by this point, the Ferrari couldn't even see the Aston. The Ferrari is just seeing me. I mean, let's go cockpit cam. I mean, literally, nothing the Ferrari could have done. I was already on the brakes by this point. Look. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Ferrari did actually just keep it pinned for like an unnecessary amount of time. Yeah. Oh, brake. No, I'm just gonna floor it. Yeah. Okay. Volleyball, I have never been to China. I have never been to China. I mean, it probably damaged, like, all of the cars behind me, to be fair. Did Mike get through it clean? Just come around this corner and it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Ah, Mike did. Okay, fair. I just popped. Oh, no, it didn't. Oops. I think he might have had the rear wing under him there. Cool. Well, we'll jump to the results screen and we'll see how much we gain. Just bring it up for you guys in a second. One mistake, same mistake as last time, which is interesting. In terms of running wide at McPhillamy. Alright, let's see. Are we actually, are we top split? Yeah, we were top split, but the strength of field wasn't quite as strong. So we were top split. We've gained safety rating, we've gained I rating, so we're up to 2,336. The I rating, I mean, you can see the guys up in front, they're in a different league, like 7,000. I don't know how well you can see that. 7,000 for the winner, 3.5 for second, who did an amazing job, really. 201.4. I was way slower in that race than I was in the previous race. I was doing I could do a 202.2 in qualifying, 202.5 in the race consistently, and that time my best was a 202.9, so not on it pace-wise. But in terms of rating gains and stuff, yeah, all good. So it was a positive one. I recovered from my horrendous start, from my race 1 situation, which was a complete disaster. It's all gone uphill from there. So for anyone who's been watching since the beginning, sorry for the start. That would have been annoying. And thank you for sticking with me. Again, the racing wasn't amazing today, but Bathurst always throws up surprises, even if the racing's not great, because you don't know when people are going to crash. You don't know when there's going to be mistakes creeping in, and they can be very, very costly. So 2 podiums, very happy about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. And I wish you all the best of luck if you're competing in the iRacing 12-hour of Bathurst this weekend. I think, are Le Mans Ultimate not also doing 12-hour test events this weekend? I believe that's a 12-hour Le Mans test race tomorrow and then another one on Sunday. Although is that actually next weekend? I can't remember if it's this weekend or next weekend, so apologies. Maybe it's next weekend. I'm probably getting that wrong. But you can find out on the TraxionGG website. Yeah, it is next week. Thank you for that, Ben. So if you want to do 2 12-hour races in a row or 3 in 2 weekends, Bathurst 12-hour this weekend. Maybe do 2 of them if you're feeling very energized. And then do 2 Le Mans Ultimate, Le Mans 12-hour test events next weekend as well. It's all happening. It's all happening. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'm going to be away on holiday from almost now until the end of next week at least. So There will still, of course, as always, be some content flowing on the TraxionGG channel. There will be news flowing on the TraxionGG website. I won't be streaming next week for obvious reasons, but I hope you have a great week nonetheless. Enjoy your motorsport, enjoy your sim racing, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.